I've come to think of personal struggles and difficult moments as catalysts for bringing out the strength that maybe we didn't even know we had inside of us. Like, this is about being honest, being vulnerable. And yes, I've had moments, well, I can only, describe maybe as depression, suicidal ideation, not gonna hide that. But I've also realized that speaking out, giving voice again to these struggles, takes away some of that heavy mental burden. And once you say something out loud, you process it differently once you get it out verbally. I'm curious, how do you help people to get out of that place where they can see their pain as something that shapes them and maybe not necessarily something that breaks them?
Absolutely. I mean, in a personal level, I would not be who I am if that child, he had not been bullied and had to learn to survive in that environment. It shapes so much who I am. The thing is, for a very long time, I was very, very saddened by that child in me that had been bullied, hurt, that was so afraid, very, very fearful. And so through therapy, I remember one of my therapists saying, Carlos, that kid figured it out. You are here. That kid is not a victim. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here talking to me. That kid somehow figured out to survive in the middle of all that. So in a personal experience, it's sort of embracing that suffering, recognizing that it shaped in a way who I am. And I think often we will think we need to get rid of that or transform it and change it. It serves a beautiful purpose for me to be here today and to be shaped who I am. When I think about literature, and particularly, I'm thinking of the work of Bruno Bettelheim. He wrote a book about the uses of enchantment and fairy tales. One of the common things, and when we think about musicals, Into the Woods, is that hero journey that the fairy tales and many stories goes through sends the hero, usually a young person, a child, into the world, into a journey that is terrible, usually, and scary, and it is through that journey that we can come out to the other side. And that is the news of hope and encouragement. That, yes, the bee, the wolf, and everything else, the giant, we're going to find in the woods, but we will find our friends, we will find our allies, and we'll find our strength and who we really are through that experience. So a lot of our work as a therapist is not to teach people to forget about the pain, but to transform the pain and to work through it. We don't want people suffering either, in that sense, although in some spiritual practices, that's sort of how enlightenment is, exists. So, but in that way, pain has a function, no? So it's to help people to work through it, so you can come up on the other side. That human experience is very important on our development in that sense, and to know and to have that sense that we have overcome something, not by ignoring it or having someone removing it from us, but really by engaging in that journey. For some of us, that is a very long journey, or we're moving from one to the next to the next. So it's going to look very different. But we need to embrace and tolerate our human experience. It's much more harmful when we try to simply eliminate it or be absent from it.